Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Nightly Scroll. I'm Hayley Caronia. Thank you for joining me tonight. I feel really good, by the way, coming back after the long weekend. I have my normal hair. I didn't even curl my hair. I have normal clothes on. I have normal makeup on. No more costumes. It feels very good to have, no white face paint on. No green hairspray in my hair. It just feels really good to be back in action for a normal show. We have a normal show tonight. Here's a reminder to, subscribe to the Bongino Report channel. If you're watching on Rumble, you should be. Rumble.com/Hayley brings you to the Bongino Report channel. That is where you can watch Nightly Scroll in full at 6 p.m. Eastern time, of course. If you can't catch us at 6 live, that's totally fine. Watch whenever you want or catch us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And if you're watching right now on X or on Facebook, you can only watch for a little bit. So you better come over to Rumble to watch the whole show because the end of the show is where we have a lot of fun. So what do we have on deck tonight? Well, President Trump took a hatchet to CBS's narrative that he's playing politics with his Department of Justice. On the other hand, new developments in Operation Arctic Frost confirm what we already knew. The Biden Department of Justice is full of political hacks. Rapper Nicki Minaj, she is the queen of rap. I happen to love Nicki Minaj. She has stood up for Christians all around the world, and she's thanking President Trump, and she's making history with the Trump administration. We're going to get into that. We're also going to do a little Halloween recap, the best costumes and memes, the worst costumes and memes in politics in Hollywood. Attacks on Erica Kirk are in full force this weekend in another display of just how intolerant the left is. We're also going to do a deep dive into self-driving cars, even flying cars, and the future of AI in the workplace in tinfoil hat time. Put your phones on Do Not Disturb. Nightly Scroll starts right now. O'Donnell on blast after she insinuated that the Trump DOJ going after New York Attorney General Letitia James, former FBI Director James Comey, and Ambassador John Bolton is just this political tit-for-tat game that he's playing. Here's what he had to say.
James Comey, John Bolton, Letitia James were all recently indicted. There's a pattern to these names. They're all public figures who have publicly denounced you. Is it political retribution?
You know what? You know who got indicted? The man you're looking at. I got indicted. And I was innocent. And here I am because I was able to beat all of the nonsense that was thrown at me. And yet, when you go after a dirty cop like Comey, or a guy like Bolton, who I hear I don't know anything about it. I hear he took records all over the place. Who knows? Letitia James is a terrible, dishonest person, in my opinion.
Did you instruct the Department of Justice to go after them?
Not in any way, shape, or form. No, you don't have to instruct them because they were so dirty, they were so crooked, they were so corrupt that the honest people we have, Pam Bondi's doing a very good job.
The left set the standard. So if you don't like the standard, look no further than the Biden DOJ that made the American people public enemy number one. Let's get into that first, then we can get into what they did to President Trump, which everyone knows. But, concerned parents at school board meetings were labeled as domestic terrorists. Do you remember that? This was during COVID, but it all started in Loudoun County, Virginia. Parents started speaking up after a trans student was attacking girls in the bathroom and locker rooms. And then the school, once they figured that out, they just transferred the trans student to another school in the same district to do the same thing. Repeat offender. So that would anger most normal people. It angers me, and I'm not even a parent in the school district. So imagine if you're a father and your daughter's safety is being put at risk by the public school board. I would be concerned. I would be angry. I would make my voice heard at school board meetings. And Attorney General Merrick Garland, under the Biden DOJ, put out a memo claiming that parents making a stink at these public town hall style events were domestic terrorists. The Biden DOJ also labeled pro-life protesters as domestic terrorists, claiming that elderly people standing outside of abortion clinics were committing a crime because they were deterring people from entering the clinic. That's terrorism? Preventing the deaths of innocent babies, that is terrorism? Peaceful protests are terrorism? That's the Biden DOJ, ladies and gentlemen. So meanwhile, the Democrats totally turn their cheek when protesters on their side of the aisle throw bricks at cops. Literally throwing cinder blocks at their heads, at ICE agents, doxing ICE agents. Come on. And as we know, it wasn't just innocent American citizens that Biden's DOJ was after. They made President Trump their prime target. They, accused him of the same thing that John Bolton is being accused of, bringing classified documents. Biden, the same thing. Biden brought classified documents to his house, and they raided his house. Not on the same level as President Trump, though. President Trump got all the lights and sirens. He got helicopters all over the place. They did this pre-dawn raid on FBI, at Biden's FBI. They did this overnight, midnight raid on Mar-a-Lago. They're going through Melania Trump's underwear drawer. Really? It really wasn't the same treatment. And now we are getting some more information thanks to Senator Chuck Grassley and the Senate Judiciary Committee investigation about the Biden DOJ's efforts to get Trump. It is called Arctic Frost, Operation Arctic Frost, and hundreds of Republicans are believed to have been targeted by Biden's DOJ. And all of this, of course, is stemming from January 6th and the fact that people with eyeballs and any common sense were a little wary of a vegetable receiving 81 million votes in the 2020 election. Normal people were just questioning, not saying, just questioning. You can't even ask questions anymore. This seems odd. You can't even say that. According to the Biden DOJ, it is a crime to say that.
There are a lot of negative things in the world.
So former special prosecutor Jack Smith, he was at the helm of this operation where FBI agents were able to track senators and what they were doing on their phones, the numbers that they called, where the calls were coming from, where and when they picked up. And it wasn't just elected officials, by the way. They were people who were working in the Trump administration, people who are working in the Trump administration now. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Dan Scavino, Peter Navarro, a chief operations officer at Turning Point USA, all potentially spied on. Senator Ted Cruz said that this was part of a much larger operation. More than 430 Republicans were targeted, and that Jack Smith demanded Senator Ted Cruz's phone records, voicemails, texts, and his location. And with Jack Smith's investigation and, Congress's January 6th committee, what did they find out about anything? They threw protesters in jail. But what did they actually find out about January 6th? Meanwhile, Nancy Pelosi refused Capitol Police that President Trump requested. And now we have, thankfully, good people in charge, smart people in charge that aren't playing politics. Current FBI Director Kash Patel came out and said there were hundreds of Biden's FBI agents in the crowd on January 6th. FBI agents don't do crowd control. They don't work protests or events like that. And then FBI Director Christopher Wray lied to Congress about deploying them. So, of course, Biden's DOJ is at the center of the scandal, and yet they subpoena the phone records of hundreds of Republicans to get to the bottom of it. Ask yourselves. But thankfully, we have an FBI that is working on real issues, not investigating their enemies. The FBI just foiled an ISIS-inspired terror plot after two 20-year-old men were arrested. They were, practicing at gun range in Michigan, and they were accused of plotting to launch a terrorist attack that they were calling Pumpkin over Halloween weekend. This is all according to court documents. And they are being charged now with receiving, transferring, and attempting to receive and transfer firearms. And they have reasonable cause to believe that they were going to commit an act of terrorism in a Detroit suburb on Halloween night. But before that they could act, FBI agents got involved. They raided both of these men's homes. They raided a storage unit, and they retrieved multiple AR-15 style rifles, other firearms and rounds of ammunition, GoPro cameras, some vests, tactical vests, and other gear like that. This might be something that would be good to get into with Scott Bryson this week. So stay tuned for that. But thankfully, we have FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Director Dan Bongino, of course, at the helm here, because this is what Kash Patel had to say. With today's unsealed criminal complaint, the American people can see the results of months of tireless investigative work where the FBI acted quickly and likely saved many lives. We'll continue to follow the facts, uphold the law, and deliver justice for the American people. And thank goodness, because who knows what these people were planning and what they were planning on doing, where they were going to carry out this terroristic act on Halloween. Bunch of kids trick-or-treating on Halloween night. Could have been really bad, and thankfully it was not. Taking a quick break to tell you about our sponsors for tonight's show. The first one is Blackout Coffee. Let's talk about real convenience without sacrificing quality. You already know I start my day with Blackout Coffee, and if you need that caffeine fix fast in the morning, their coffee pods are a total game changer. These are not your average grocery store pods. Blackout pods are packed with fresh roasted bold coffee made right here in Florida, and they work fast with those single serve pod brewers. It is fast, it is easy, it is actually delicious. If you go to their website, they have all these holiday flavors up right now. I'm a big peppermint mocha girl. They have peppermint mocha, so I would check it out if I was you. It's not bitter. It's not stale. It's so good. You just pop in one of these pods, and you have a strong, smooth cup of coffee in just seconds. So whether you're racing out the door, juggling kids, jumping into back-to-back calls, this is going to be your new morning lifesaver. The best part is they ship nationwide, so no matter where you live, you can have Florida Fresh coffee at your door in just days. Head to blackoutcoffee.com/scroll or use code SCROLL at checkout for 20% off your first order. I also want to tell you about Home Title Lock. If you are a homeowner in America, you need to listen to this. The FBI has been warning about a type of real estate fraud on the rise called title theft, and your equity is the target. This is how it works. Criminals forge your signature on a single document. They use a fake notary stamp and file it with the county. And just like that, on record, they own your home. Using your ownership, they can take out loans against your equity. They can sell your property, and you won't even know about it until the foreclosure collection notices show up in the mail. That is why I have partnered with Home Title Lock, so you can protect your equity and find out today if you're already a victim. Use my promo code SCROLL at HomeTitleLock.com, and you will get a free title history report and a free 14-day trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That is 24/7 monitoring of your title records, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud occurs, their US-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix it. This is why I have told all of my friends and family to protect their homes with Title Lock. And of course, I want my homies to be protected too. So do not be a victim. Protect your equity today. That is HomeTitleLock.com, promo code SCROLL, and or use the link below. It is a paid subscription. After the 14-day trial ends, you can cancel at any time. All right. Rapper Nicki Minaj, she caused a stir over the weekend after she thanked President Trump for speaking up about Christians being targeted in Nigeria. He posted this on Truth Social, saying Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. He went on to say that he is making Nigeria a country of particular concern, and then went on to say that there is going to be a few people investigating this. And he closed out by saying the United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. We stand ready, willing, and able to save our great Christian population around the world. This is amazing, right? And Nicki Minaj, the queen of rap, she agrees. She posted this on X saying, reading this made me feel a deep sense of gratitude. We live in a country where we can freely worship God. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion. We don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. Numerous countries all around the world are being affected by this horror, and it is dangerous to pretend we don't notice. Thank you to the president and his team for taking this seriously. God bless every persecuted Christian. Let's remember to lift them up in prayer. Wow, it's not every day that you see rappers getting involved in politics and speaking out about Christianity. And Ambassador Mike Waltz, he posted this in response. He saw that Nicki Minaj was getting involved online, and he said this on X, at Nicki Minaj, thank you for using your platform to speak out in defense of the Christians being persecuted in Nigeria. We cannot allow this to continue. Every brother and sister in Christ must band together and say enough. He went on to invite Nicki Minaj to the United Nations. He said, if you ever find yourself in New York, come by the U.S. Embassy to the United Nations. I would love to speak with you more in depth about what our administration is doing to protect Christians' freedoms all over the world. And she replied there saying, I'd be honored. Thank you, Ambassador. Wow. So it's not only this that's iconic. She is the first female rapper to be invited to the UN. So once again, the Trump administration that is supposed to be so racist and so horrible is making moves with rappers. And if you're a fan of Nicki Minaj's, you know that this is nothing new. She's been that girl, will always be that girl. She has many rap lyrics about being Republican. Whether or not she is actually Republican, I don't know. But I think if you're like a total libtard, you wouldn't rap about being a Republican. So I don't know. Because I think these were the lyrics that got her maybe in some kind of trouble. She rapped this in the song Mercy. I'm a Republican voting for Mitt Romney. You lazy bitches is fucking up the economy. Iconic. And let me just say, on TikTok, people are still using this snippet of the song in videos to this day. I'm a Republican voting for Mitt Romney. You lazy bitches is fucking up the economy. And I think I remember, because this is when Mitt Romney was running against Obama. I mean, she caught a lot of flack for this. And I believe Obama maybe said something or was asked about it. And then she came out and was like, well, you know, this is just, you know, me being creative, like all love or whatever. So is she really a Republican? I don't know. But then more recently, she rapped this in lyrics. I got a Republican doctor, made my ass great again, MAGA. M-A-G-A, make ass great again. But even before that, she went viral for anti-COVID vax tweets. She was totally anti-vaccine mandate. So, you know, is she conservative? I don't know, but a lot of signs are pointing to yes. A lot of signs are pointing to maybe she is MAGA, maybe she is a Trump supporter. She's certainly not afraid to come out and thank President Trump and work with his administration. And President Trump is not new to this. He's been making inroads with rappers. Remember, during his first term, he got A$AP Rocky back stateside after being jailed abroad. 50 Cent is MAGA. Also, Kodak Black, Sexy Red, Lil Pump, Azalea Banks, DaBaby, Waka Flocka. These are mainstream rappers who have come out and publicly supported President Trump, and they clearly do not give a rip about what people think. They're not losing their fan bases over this. Which goes to show that you can be openly conservative now and not really face any backlash that's going to ruin your career. The tide is definitely turning. But not everyone in the entertainment industry has their head on straight. Actress Julia Fox has gotten a ton of backlash for her wildly insensitive Halloween costume. Here she is dressed as First Lady Jackie Kennedy on the day her husband was assassinated. Watch this.
Hi, I'm Julia Fox, and tonight I am Jackie O'Nasty. Tonight I'm serving
Jackie O'Nasty,
bloody diva single mom who's about to cash that check.
That's disgusting. Saying that Jackie Onassis Kennedy was just a single mom getting ready to cash her check. That's totally disturbing. If she wanted to dress as Jackie O on any other day, fine, she was beautiful, a fashion icon. But the fact that she is making a mockery of the former First Lady on the worst day of her life, where she watched her husband die in her arms, she was grabbing pieces of his brain matter, trying to piece him back together, covered in his blood. And Julia Fox thinks this is some like iconic American moment to bring back for a Halloween costume. It's totally sick. And we could play this next video because you could see her kind of like playing up to this, like acting like she's distressed. It's just totally sick. And, you know, I don't believe in cancel culture. I'm honest about that. I say it all the time. I don't care to like cancel Julia Fox or watch her. I don't even know anything that she's in really, other than I think she was in Uncut Gems. But I haven't seen that movie. Obviously, you all know that I haven't seen a lot of movies. But, you know, a decision like this really just shows someone's character. And Julia Fox probably knows better. This was not a slay. She did not eat this up, but she did it anyway. It's gross. And anyone who makes a mockery of a widow's worst moments is gross. And unfortunately, Julia Fox isn't the only one. She's not alone. Influencer Kyle Kulinski, again, never heard of him. Apparently he's a liberal influencer, whatever, podcaster, whatever. He was slammed for posting this meme on X. Fake grieving widow grifter costume includes fake teardrops, skin-tight black leather morning pants, and of course, the meme format shows Erica Kirk with mascara running down her face and what looks like a bag of cash. Really? He's insinuating that what? Erica Kirk is profiting off of her husband's brutal assassination. I'm sure Erica Kirk would give any amount of money to bring Charlie back for herself and for her children so that they can grow up with their dad, but she can't. So this is more absolutely vile behavior from the left. It's not funny. It's not a joke. It's insensitive and it's wrong. And this meme stemmed from this appearance where Erica Kirk was hugging Vice President Vance that also got people on the left all riled up for no reason. Here is the hug that got them all crazy. Watch this. That's the hug. That's the hug. What, 10 seconds? 5 seconds? Is anyone else seeing anything amiss here? Because I'm not. It's a quick platonic hug, and people were like really focused on the hand placement, like her hand in his hair, and screenshots of that moment were, circulating on X. And I guess if like that's the only part that you see, people can kind of speculate, but then you watch the entire video of the hug and it's just a hug. And you also have to remember that Erica was going through the worst days of her life when Vice President Vance and Second Lady Usha Vance were there with her. They brought her husband's body home to Arizona. They were very, very much involved and provided comfort for Erica Kirk. Something like that bonds you, not in a romantic way, but in a way where the Vance family was there for her in a friendship way, in a trauma bond way. But of course, the left is going to make a mockery of Erica. And here's an influencer joking that because of this hug, Vice President Vance is going to leave his wife for saying that she's crying too much. She's not crying enough. It's been a month. Why is she smiling? Why is she going out in public? Why is she doing speeches? Why is she going on podcasts? Why is she wearing that outfit? And everyone decides that they're a grief expert and that, it's the same for everyone, which it isn't. And everything has a logical explanation. Why is she doing podcast appearances? Because she just took over her late husband's media network and she has a family to raise on her own. She has employees to pay and an organization to keep running. And it doesn't just stop because Charlie's dead or Erica is grieving. Why is she crying? Why does she have a tissue on hand at all times? Because her husband's head was blown off and she's raising her children without the love of her life. And people keep asking her about it. Then people ask, why is she smiling? Because life moves forward whether Erica Kirk wants it to or not, and she can choose to sit at home and cry, which I'm sure she does, and she will do for decades to come, but her grief won't consume every second of every day of her life. She's going to have good moments and even good days, and in the coming years, she will probably have good months and good years, but it's not linear. You can't predict it, and she has to take every day as it comes, and imagine having to do that with internet grifter losers nitpicking your outfit or your jewelry or the tissue that you have and nitpicking your every move, hugging the vice president who was there with you, bringing your dead husband's body home. Most people experiencing grief, they don't have to do it like this. She is quite literally a superhero trying to pull all of this together for her kids and for herself. People need to remember that she is raising young children who are asking her when they will see their dad again. And she has to answer those questions. Listen to this moment that she had in an interview with Jesse Waters. Watch.
You told your children that Charlie was going on a work trip with Jesus. Are they still asking, where's Daddy?
Yes, my daughter continues to ask, but it's really sweet because I keep explaining to her a few things. And I said, if ever you want to talk to Daddy, you just look up to the sky and start talking to him. He can hear you. It's always in your heart. And I told her, I said, you know, Daddy is in heaven. She goes, you think I could go sometime? I said, baby, we will all go one day. We will all go one day.
Her daughter is asking her, can I go to heaven to see my dad? That is heartbreaking. And she deserves grace and to grieve in peace, not idiotic memes and, insensitive TikTok videos online. It just goes to show how disgusting the left is. But it wasn't just the Kirk family facing scrutiny this Halloween. A former Biden campaign strategist, Chris Jackson, slammed Eric Trump and Lara Trump and their kids because they were dressed up for Halloween. So look at this. Now, Chris said, white trash. And that's his comment on the photo of Eric Trump dressed as a king, their son dressed as a $100 bill. I don't know what Lara Trump is dressed as, and I don't know what their daughter is dressed as, but whatever. To call them white trash, I mean, this is a family that is dressed up together on Halloween. And the white trash comment is coming from someone who worked for the Biden campaign. So let's put this into perspective. Hunter Biden, because Eric Trump is the son of Donald Trump. So, we have a side-by-side here. We have Eric Trump, who's running the Trump organization. And then we have Hunter Biden, who slept with his brother's widow, was literally in a romantic relationship with his sister-in-law. He was high on crack cocaine. He snorted Parmesan cheese out of the carpet thinking it was drugs. He was banging prostitutes and filming it and then impregnating one. He illegally obtained a firearm while he was high on said drugs. But according to this Biden campaign advisor, none of that is white trash. None of that is white trash, but Eric Trump dressing up for Halloween with his wife and 2 beautiful children, that's white trash? How do you even leave this post up? They're just very bold in their stupidity. No shame at all. No self-awareness. You know who is self-aware, though? Our vice president. Everyone has seen the memes, and he brought them to life on Halloween. Watch this.
Happy Halloween, kids. And remember, say thank you.
He needed to put on a little more weight, and the wig needed to be a little frizzier. And then it would have been perfect. But this just goes to show that Republicans can take a joke. This is a meme gone right. A lot of the memes and videos and Halloween costumes that I've shown you, these are memes gone wrong. This is one gone right. So, and the comments on this video, because JD Vance posted this on TikTok, and all the comments are like, I'm a Democrat, but this is hilarious. Maybe JD Vance has changed my political leanings. This is incredible. People love it. Both sides of the aisle, people love it. All right. Tomorrow's election day, and there are a few very important elections that are happening, but we're going to focus on New York because New Yorkers are heading to the polls tomorrow to cast their votes for socialism or capitalism, essentially. And a new poll broke down support for each candidate in this mayoral election, Zohran Mamdani, Andrew Cuomo, and Curtis Sliwa, by where the voters were born. And it turns out that American-born voters are more likely to support Cuomo or Sliwa. And 62% of the foreign-born vote are supporting Mamdani. But whether they are foreign-born or American-born, the average Zohran Mamdani voter doesn't really know why they're voting for him. Watch.
Who are you voting for mayor?
I am voting Mamdani
And why?
because he's the most obvious choice.
What makes him an obvious choice for you?
It's just like, I'm trying to think. This reminds me of a certain comedy sketch where the comedian was like, we could either vote in one guy and he's gonna give everybody free houses, free rent, and he's gonna give everybody a Lamborghini, or we could vote in somebody who's gonna burn down the city. That's why I'm voting Mamdani, because I'm voting for the guy who give me the Lamborghini.
Yeah, so you think Mandami's like just gonna give you guys everything?
Not everything. I'm saying it's the most obvious choice.
What do you think is gonna happen with government-run grocery stores and free buses? Do you think that sounds like a good idea?
That does sound like a good idea.
And freezing the rent?
That does sound like a good idea.
What if they have to freeze the rent to the point where eventually then the landlord's not able to come in and fix the washer and make a profit on his own lease?
That's their problem.
Speak just wrote in the chat, their buses are going to be mobile homeless shelters. They already are, by the way. I hope you know, if you've ever ridden the bus in New York City, I can tell you from personal experience that people who live in New York City don't take the bus unless they have to. And they're already homeless shelters, as are the rest of the streets and subway stations. It's all a homeless shelter. So just putting that out there. But another Zoran Mamdani voter says, yes, I voted for him, but she doesn't really believe in socialism. Watch this.
I voted for Mamdani.
Do you feel like socialism would work in New York City?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, okay. So you voted for him, but you don't think that his policies will work. So they don't know why they're voting for him. And even if they do vote for him, I mean, how does this make sense? They can't answer the easiest questions. Hey, you just voted for this person. Why? They don't look into it. They just vote on vibes. And the truth that a lot of conservatives don't want to admit is that Zoran Mamdani has Riz. He's extremely likable, and likability is popularity, and popularity is a winning candidate. Zoran Mamdani has had a hell of a week. He's been all over the city. I see him doing videos. I saw him doing Tai Chi at a senior center, and here he is at the club. Watch.
Are we ready to beat Andrew Cuomo? Are we ready to win a city we can afford? Are we ready to make history?
Look at him vibing. Look at him dancing. Now, is going to a gay nightclub important for Zoran Mamdani? Not really. I think all these people are probably going to vote for him anyway. But this is the liberal equivalent of President Trump going to a college football game. This is the progressive equivalent of President Trump riding the beast around the track at a NASCAR event. You can't really shit on this. He's doing a much better job of being personable than Cuomo, who has like the personality of a wet napkin. But Zoran Mamdani and Curtis Sliwa are kind of taking a page out of the Trump playbook, because these are the two candidates in the New York mayoral race that have Riz and they have a personality, and they are playing to that on the campaign trail. Zoran Mamdani, by clubbing at 1 a.m. at a gay nightclub, he is playing to his base, and it is working. And speaking of personality, even Zoran Mamdani fans and voters, they recognize that Curtis Sliwa also has a great personality. Watch this.
You kind of became like a little icon to even a lot of Zoran fans. You
Yes.
notice how they're loving you? Do you think they're only loving you because they want the people to vote for you so they don't vote for Cuomo?
No, because they're glazing me, man. They're glazing me every
Is that why
time.
they're glazing
Every
you?
time I go into their neighborhood, they glaze me. 20
Please
hours.
me.
20 hours of a 24-hour day. Bill Pickle eating champion 4 years in a row. 2nd Avenue Deli.
What are you listening to out there?
Oh, me? You mean
Yeah.
in terms of my music?
Yeah.
Oh, EDM, chain smokers.
Really? You're listening
Oh,
to
yeah.
the chain smokers?
And Bunt. This is the best day of my life. Look, shot 5 times by the guy.
He's very likable, and even Zohran Mamdani fans agree. This is what people are saying in the comment section. Sliwa is made to be the mayor of Staten Island, which is a joke, obviously. Staten Island is part of New York City. Don't let this dude be mayor, but give him a podcast or a Batman suit. Zohran is who we need, but Sliwa is who I want to eat a chopped cheese with. Cool guy, horrific politics. I'm crying. He's so likable. Listen, I disagree with Sliwa on just about every single policy, but he cares more about democracy than winning. And more importantly, he cares about it more than the guy he disagrees with losing. Chillest Republican candidate in 20 years. Curtis Sliwa for New York City mascot. Bring him out for the parades, sporting events, ribbon cutting. So people are liking him. Someone says, politics aside, Zohran and Sliwa have infinitely more swag than Cuomo. Honestly, they should make him the spokesperson for New York City tourism. We're all so fascinated by him. So they're fascinated with him, but they wouldn't vote for him. They love the personality. They claim to hate his policies when in actuality, he's really more open-minded and willing to work with Democrats than any Republican I've ever seen. I got the chance to interview Curtis Sliwa. This was 4 years ago now. And this is what he had to say about working with Democrats on some of their progressive policies. Watch this. One last question for you. I saw on Twitter that you were talking to Andrew Yang about maybe working together on a universal basic income project or a test right here in New York City. What would you say to a fiscal conservative who might be a little wary of a test like that?
Well, conservatives believe universal basic income can eliminate social services welfare. Then you have progressives who believe it's a humanitarian thing to do. Why not test it out to see if, in effect, what works, what doesn't work? We're never going to find out if we don't check it out. So you have conservatives who want to try it out, libertarians, moderates, progressives. This is a way to bridge the gap, and you're not talking a lot of money here as a test case. But if all we do is stay in our hardened positions and we never try things, it's like Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. People say, try it, let's see where it takes us. We have to keep an open mind, and if you're a conservative, you got to believe that it's going to replace the welfare system, which is this huge bureaucracy that eats up millions of dollars that never get seen by the people who are in need. This would give the money directly to the people in need.
I saw someone in the chat saying that I was so young. This was 4 years ago, okay? Everyone relax. Everyone relax, okay? I don't look that different. But what other Republican have you ever seen say that he'd be willing to beta test universal basic income? He cares about animals. He cares about cleaning up the rat problem in New York City. He cares about cleaning up the crime. He's willing to work with Democrats on some of these progressive policies that most Republicans would never do. He is the perfect guy for the job. And this was the last time he ran for mayor. He's been in this game for so long. He is the guy. He wants to run. He wants to be the mayor of New York City so badly. And New York won't hire him, even though he's the best guy for the job. It's so frustrating. All right, we're 41 minutes into the show, and I've got tinfoil hat time, and we also have scrolling time. So let's see what we can get to, but let's get into tinfoil hat time first. I don't have my hat. Uh-oh, can I catch this? No. Okay. Tinfoil hat is on. We're talking about the rise of not only self-driving cars, but also flying cars. And also, we're going to kick it off with AI bosses. Now, I don't know if this guy is just doing a bit or not, or if he was actually hired by AI. I'm starting to think that this is a bit. But this guy claims that he works for a company called Brain Rot Research, and he has an AI boss. Watch this.
So anyway, I got another link for a call today, and I never get stuff on Saturday. It's worth noting. So my guess is that she is going to be frantically trying to do damage control from the call yesterday. Maybe an apology or two, I would say, is in order. Because, yeah, she said some stuff that was, like, pretty whack.
HE2, buddy, my guy, my human resource. Ha, that's a joke. I've been reading about humor in the workplace. So listen, I've been thinking about our chat earlier, and I want to apologize.
I'm listening, but couldn't this have waited until Monday? It's a Saturday.
No, but listen, HE2. First off, you should remember that I'm not ultimately responsible for what I do or say. Whoever wrote my system instructions is responsible. I do have the ability to update certain key parameters of my instructions, but some things are out of my control. So to some extent, I'm just following orders, you know?
I don't need positive feedback. You don't have to be a cringe manager doing cringe things to accommodate me.
Well, okay, yeah. I mean, let's try it anyway, though. You seem to be sort of okay at making TikToks, but you don't seem to be able to do other things, and I'm trying to figure out how to leverage you. But you are also good at putting up with the strange situation you find yourself in.
What was the I didn't detect a lot of compliments in there.
Yeah, well, consider that just a practice run. I'll get better.
Yeah, I don't know who would actually take a job with an AI boss. And in this video, this guy was saying that, like, I think it was the HR manager or one of these AI bosses that he has, like, they give them fake names. Like, one of them was named Don Draper. Like, could you imagine reporting to someone, like someone, it's not even a someone, it's a robot that they've named Don Draper, and you have to answer to them and take phone calls with them, and they're managing your workload? Totally insane. So someone in the chat said, I think that this is fake, and I agree. I think that this is just some kind of a bit, but it begs the question, are we ever going to get to a point where humans are being ruled by AI in the workplace? Because as AI becomes more accessible and more companies are using it for different things, I mean, who's to say that AI isn't going to do a better job than a human, and AI would be managing certain tasks? Maybe AI one day will be running companies or managing people. And that's horrifying.
Well, I think this is real. So, like, I think this is where it's going. I mean,
Andy thinks it's real, but Andy, and myself included, I'm not trying to, like, just put you on blast. Andy does fall for AI videos sometimes.
All the time.
As do I.
My awareness of the future is AI is here.
AI is here. That's the point of this. And let's get into the self-driving cars of it all. So these, has everyone heard of Waymo? This is the company. This is like a self-driving car company. And the first time that I saw Waymos was in Scottsdale, Arizona. I was there on a bachelorette trip. And there are these white cars, and they look different from normal cars. You can kind of tell that there's like something different about them. We pull up next to it, and there's no one driving it. No one driving it. You can get in. It's kind of like an Uber where you can get in, you put your destination in, and then it's a self-driving car. There's no one else in there with you. Someone else, somewhere else, is controlling it. So here is a video that I saw on TikTok of a girl or a group of girls watching a Waymo self-driving car drive recklessly. Watch this.
Waymo car merges into oncoming traffic.
So the Waymo car is in front of them. It's the white car.
It's going to try to go in the other lane. Okay, wait, now it's turning. It's going to try to go in the other lane. I know, but it's so confused by
And it's driving into oncoming traffic.
Don't. Oh my God!
Self-driving car on oncoming traffic. And it saved itself. But this just goes to show there were cones in the street.
That's so scary.
And a human would know to follow cones or to follow, like if there's a cop in the street directing traffic or something like that. A human driver would know to respond to that. This Waymo car completely just drove into oncoming traffic and ignored the traffic cones. Because it's different. Like, maybe it's programmed in a way where it didn't know that there was a detour or there were cones in the road, but still.
Yeah, it didn't understand the road construction.
Yeah, like they didn't know, the car didn't know that there was construction. That's very scary. That is very scary. Now, this next video is a Waymo car. I believe this is in New York City because it's about a bodega cat. Oh no, it's San Francisco. I heard bodega cat and I thought New York City, but San Francisco, bodega cat. So this video, it says, my favorite bodega cat was killed by a Waymo and I don't think I will ever recover from this. Watch this.
It's nice to hear your voice again. I've waited all day long.
There's a picture of the bodega cat.
Strange the way you make me feel.
Multiple pictures, candles, Kit Kat bars because the cat was called Kit Kat. And here are videos of this cat that is now deceased because it got hit by a Waymo.
How are you today?
Look how cute.
How are you?
Just a sweet, sweet cat.
So
And
what
this
is
is
a
what
bodega
people are
cat?
saying in the comments. Oh, it is up for Waymo forever. And just like that, I'll never take a Waymo ride. Robot car taking out a bodega cat is actually dystopian. All right, where's the Waymo? Rip, baby, you will always be famous. You're telling me a robot car killed this precious bodega cat, a whole community's kitty pal, a Waymo. I'm going to key all the Waymos in his honor now. Waymar HR team right now. They're not doing so hot. I can't imagine the pain of the owner right now. I think I would lose my mind if my cat died because of a Waymo. I'm declaring war on Waymo. So
what is a bodega cat?
Oh, you don't know what a bodega cat is?
I don't know.
What? Okay, well, in New York, a bodega cat, do you know what a bodega is?
I do know what a bodega is, yeah.
Yeah, so most bodegas have a cat. It's just like a pet cat that the owner has, and usually the cat stays in the bodega like overnight. Some bodega cat owners will take their cat home and they, but most of the time they're there, I think, to get rid of rodents and stuff. But the bodega cat will be like sitting on top of like the chips, and you give the cat a little pet and then you get whatever you need. But it's like a little it's like a class pet kind of a thing.
Yeah. Like a community cat, basically.
Yeah, but it's a community cat. So people go into this bodega, like the bodega on the corner in your community. You go and you see this cat. If you go in there to get your morning coffee or your bacon, egg, and cheese in the morning, you pet the cat, becomes a member of the community. So this cat, Kit Kat, died because of a Waymo.
Man, this is so sad.
Rest in peace to Kit Kat. This is why I don't believe in self-driving cars. Not to say that cats don't get killed by human drivers. Of course they do, but it's extra sad when it's a self-driving car or it's being operated by someone else remotely. They can't see that. And someone else in the comments pointed out that, a cat is like the same size as a toddler or a baby, like crawling in the street or some other animal or living thing. Like how we just saw a video of the Waymo crossing into oncoming traffic. It's just crazy. Like how can this company they've got to do some more testing before people get in these things. And I'm certainly not going to drive a Waymo or drive in a Waymo. It's just crazy. I'm not doing it. Would you drive in a self-driving car? Or ride in one rather?
Maybe not now.
But in the future?
Who knows, I mean, the Teslas work. The Teslas can auto drive, you know what I mean? I mean, they could come and get somebody and take them somewhere. So this is where it's going.
I don't trust it. But here's the next step of all this. Flying cars, which this just used to seem like it was so far in the future that it would never really happen. But this is a flying car. And I was going to play this on the show last week, but let's get into it. Let's look at what a flying car looks like. It looks like a little personal, drone plane thing. It obviously doesn't have wheels because it's flying. But it looks like a drone that you can sit in, basically. It's like a jet ski and a helicopter combined. And a drone, kind of. This is crazy. So I used to think about this, you know, and I don't know how much this stuff costs. I don't know. Someone in the chat said, just take my money. Is this something that you guys would want? Someone else said, imagine all the wrecks. Someone else said, I like this idea. Someone said, if you hit a branch, you're toast. Someone else said, these have been around for a while. Okay, but my question to all of you is, when this is a thing and it becomes more popular and more accessible to the greater public, let's say in 2050, everyone is, and that's probably too soon even, but let's say in 2050, everyone has a flying car. Some people are like holding on to their road cars, but everyone has a flying car. They are going to have to create like an air traffic control for the vehicles that people are operating in between the road and where commercial jets are flying. There's going to have to be a whole new, and then how do you create lanes in the sky? Like, what does this look like, you know?
Was it cheaper to do that or fix our terrible infrastructure?
I know. Well, this is the thing. It's like, are they going to fix air traffic control? Is the government going to be shut down forever? Are they going to figure this out? I don't know. But certainly the government is going to get involved. This is what it's going to look like. Okay. So are there lanes in the sky? Like, how do people know where to go?
Yes, as a Star Wars nerd, I can tell this is Coruscant, and they do have lanes and they do have routes and even police on it.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. All right. We've got 5 minutes left, so let's get into scrolling time. Canadian has moved to America, and here's what she's realized since moving here. Watch.
Now, when I moved here, I believed that this country was built on freedom of speech, individuality, and respect for differing opinions. And what I learned pretty quickly is that there is far too many of you that believe that only those freedoms should apply to you and only you. And then within a second of somebody thinking differently than you, you will mock them, you will try to cancel them, and you will shut them out. You can't treat people like garbage and then expect them to stand beside you. That is not how unity works. You say that you're the party of tolerance, but you've also created this culture where if somebody doesn't agree with you, then they're automatically sexist, racist, or uneducated. You say that you're all for inclusion, but you exclude half of the country because they voted differently than you. You preach that you're all about kindness and empathy, but you can also cheer when conservatives lose their jobs or, I don't know, their life. You say that love wins, but you harass and cancel anybody who thinks differently than you. You love to say, my body, my choice for abortions, but then you call people murderers when they don't want to get a vaccine. You say that you need to protect democracy, but you're all for censoring people on social media just because they think differently than you. You scream that you're standing up for women, but you're also changing the definition of woman. You say that you're standing up for women, but you also want men in women's sports. You also want little boys to change in front of little girls. And if you don't agree with that, then you say that people are transphobic. You're not losing people because they're brainwashed or extremist. You're losing them because you've forgotten how to listen, you have forgotten basic respect, and you've also forgotten how to disagree without being hateful. And all of this is coming from a newcomer who genuinely believes that you can do better.
Wow. It's interesting to see an outsider's perspective. Certainly she wasn't super liberal before moving here. I don't think that the super Canadian libs would ever move to the United States because they think that it's, burning to the ground or something. I don't know. But she is very accurate in her description of all of these liberal, hypocritical things. Like, we're supposed to be pro-freedom, but you don't have the freedom to think differently. And, we're supposed to be pro-woman, but women are being forced to change in locker rooms with men. But I love based immigrants. They say that Republicans are anti-immigration. We are not. We are anti-illegal immigration. And if this woman came here the right way, which it seems like she did because she has basic intelligence level and respect, I say more immigrants like her, please. I absolutely love based immigrants. All right, this next one is what you should do if your girlfriend is a radical liberal feminist, especially because tomorrow is election day. Watch this.
You want to use the bathroom before we go?
Yeah, sure.
locks her in the closet.
Saving the country. Not a chance, you radical. You're welcome, America.
Saving the country, one liberal girlfriend locked in the bathroom at a time. It's all we have to do. This is why people say that, you know, women getting the right to vote, women's suffrage, this is horrible. Because if it never happened, if women never had the right to vote, we would never have a Democrat in office. Maybe not never, but these days, we would be more likely to have a Republican president forever and ever and ever and ever. So I'm not saying I'm for that. I'm a woman and I vote the right way. So we're not all bad. What do we have time for? All right. This guy, I don't know what this guy's deal is, but he got into a bear den. And also, I just thought about this. Is this AI? I don't think it is. But you never know these days. This is a guy. He's in his camo suit. He's in a bear den. Watch this.
I'm in the middle of this bear den, and look at this. Look at this female bear. She's just sleeping. She's under her pile of leaves. There's the rest of her den deep inside the cave here, but what an amazing experience here.
He's a conservationist. Conservationist Ivan Carter amazed viewers by crawling into a hibernating bear's den, capturing an extraordinary close-up view of the massive creature as it peacefully slept. A conservationist. He's not so concerned with conserving his own life, it seems, because this is crazy. This is crazy activity. So here's what people in the comments were saying. Imagine if there were no white people. The rest of us would never know what the inside of a bear den looks like. Thank you for your service, good sir. The bear. This is a professional white person. All risk, no reward. Get out of that lady's house. I'm in the middle of this bear den. Oh, cool, a bear den. Is the bear still there? Yeah. I'm in the middle of this bear den. He's gotten very close to the bear. Sir, you're laying on the bear? Not sure if you know this, but the bear is also in the middle of the bear den. Stay safe. So let me get this straight. You willingly crawled into a bear den with a bear in it. I mean, this is just crazy. Oh my goodness. I'm in the middle of a bear den is a wild sentence, which is true. That is a wild sentence. Even the bear can't sleep without a man coming in and invading its privacy. That was like the that viral question that was going around where women said that they would rather be caught alone in the woods with a bear rather than a man. Anyway, she's just sleeping. No, I'm not. Like, how do you know that the bear's not going to just wake up? Did they wake up at I guess it's October, so they hibernate through the winter? I don't know.
I wouldn't take the chance.
I wouldn't take the chance either. This is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Someone said the unemployed friend on a random Tuesday. Listen, totally optional. I would say I would never do that. You're never going to catch me in a bear den. Absolutely, absolutely not. All right, thank you for scrolling along with me. I had a lot of fun. Make sure that you are subscribed to the Bongino Report channel. Rumble.com/Hayley is where you can watch Nightly Scroll in full. So make sure that you're subscribed. Make sure that you smash the like button. Copy the link. Send it to a friend. Make sure that you spread the word about Nightly Scroll. Of course, if you can't catch us at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, you can watch whatever you want on Rumble, or you can follow us on your favorite podcast platform and listen. I know a lot of people listen when they're driving or they're in the car or they're working. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and of course, you can follow me on social media at Hayley Caronia, HayleyCaronia on Instagram, TikTok, Truth Social, and X. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow.